Hello, viewers. Welcome back to this channel. And in our previous video, I have talked about prison notebooks written by Antonio Gramsci. In his Marxist work, or we can say neo-Marxist work, Antonio Gramsci has tried to depict various theories like hegemony and intellectuals, then how this Marxist ideology is different from the previous one of from Karl Marx. These all things he has tried to delineate in his work, Prison Notebooks. And Prison Notebooks is considered as one of the most influential works of 20th century literary, not literary, means political philosophy or theory. Now, in this video, I will talk about an essay written by Antonio Gramsci himself, and this essay name is Hegemony, Civil Society and Separation of Powers. Uh, in my last video, I have made a video on the formation of intellectuals, and if you have not watched that video, then you must watch that. And before watching that video, you have to have some clear idea about Marxism. What is Marxism? What is base, or what is substructure, or what is superstructure? That all things you must be you must have a clear knowledge about that thing, and you must also know what is capitalism, what is socialism, what is communism, what is feudalism. These all things you must have an idea. Then only this lesson or this essay or this thing will be comprehensible for you. Okay. Now, in this essay, hegemony and civil society and separation of powers, Antonio Gramsci, he has introduced a new theory about hegemony, how hegemony works, and what is the relevance of it in our society or in a particular state. Got it? And he has tried to argue that how cultural hegemony is used in a capitalist state to maintain law and order of that particular state. Got it? Now, without any delay, let's try to know broadly about this essay. Antonio Gramsci has claimed that hegemony lies under modern capitalism, and that the bourgeoisie can maintain its economic control by allowing certain demands made by trade unions and mass political parties within civil society to be met by the political sphere. Now, if you ask me what is bourgeoisie and what is proletariat, then it will be very difficult for me now here to explain you in detail. So for this, you have to watch my previous videos, or you can watch any videos from any YouTubers, or you can have some insight from books and search engine too. Okay, so in simple, I will tell you that bourgeoisie are the people who belong to upper class in any society, and proletariat are the working class, or we can say labor class of any economy or society or in any state. And moreover, he has said that the bourgeoisie, they engage in passive revolution by going beyond its immediate economic interest, and it by allowing the forms of its hegemony. Hegemony's literal meaning is dominance. Okay, to transform or to change. And Gramsci has also opined that movements such as reformism and fascism, as well as the scientific management and assembly line methods of Frederick Taylor and Henry Ford, respectively, are the examples of this notion. Okay, and apart from that, hegemony is the processes by which dominant culture maintains its dominant position. For instance, the use of institutions to formalize power, like the employment of a bureaucracy to make power seem abstract and therefore not attached to any one individual, the inculcation of the populace in the ideals of the hegemonic group through education, advertising, publication, etc., and the mobilization of a police force as well as military personnel to subdue opposition. So, here, in simple language, if we try to talk, then through various modes of hegemony or dominance, the government or the state, it tries to maintain law and order, and it tries to govern, or it tries to maintain the society or a particular state. Like, he has given an example that through the employment of bureaucracy. Now, what bureaucracy does? Bureaucracy is the mechanism of dealing with people's problem, right? And that itself is a dominance. That itself is an example of dominance, according to Antonio Gramsci. This is in a very simple language. Okay, got it. And another thing is through police force, military force, and through various defense forces, the government, they try to maintain peace, and they try to maintain law and order. So that is also an instance of hegemony, but that hegemony is not by consent but by force. Okay, but there are some instances of hegemony where the government gets consent by means people's consent, means though people will not say that okay, I have given you the power to rule me, but indirectly, passively, through various kinds of ideology, they or policy, they will try to take consent from the government. This I have already talked in my previous video. Like, if you take an example, this example I have given in my last video too, that during the World War II, or before it too, when Adolf Hitler was ruling in the Germany, at that time he has tried to manipulate and convince people that their they belong to a very superior race, and they belong to a very pure race, and their race is the purest, and they should dominate in all over the world, and then all people were supporting him. Okay, so that is an example of dominance by the state. Okay, and that is an example of hegemony, means how government tries to, or how the institutions tries to rule over people through various kinds of hegemony. Got it? And apart from that, hegemony is the process of manufacturing consent at various levels of socialization in the superstructures, for example, in media, school, association, etc. Hegemony denotes the ideological domination of the ruling class. Okay. In addition to that, the writer Antonio Gramsci has said that hegemony is also the process of manufacturing consent at various levels of socialization in the superstructures like media, school, association. Okay, so by this line, the writer has tried to say that by the government sponsored school, by the government sponsored or the state sponsored media or association, they will try to spread their ideology, and they will try to spread their belief system, their policies, and their way of thinking. And they will try to brainwash and manipulate and convince the mind of common people. And if people love that idea, then that will be hegemony for them. Got it? Now let's take an instance here that now Indian government say, it says that from now on in all school there will be a uniform that is utterly white. Okay, completely white. The pant will be white. The shirt will be white, and all thing will be, whatever the dress will be worn by the people, that will be downrightly white. So, and to convince people, the government has said that we are doing so, or we are doing that because the white is the symbol of purity and that is the symbol of peace. Got it? Then then if people believe that, and if people consider that thing is the best thing, so in that way the government is now ruling on the people uh, with the consent of the people, though the consent is not written, though the consent is not oral, but that consent is visible, means in there, means not opposing that thing. Means in that way, in any particular state, the institutions or the governments try to rule. That is the thing the writer Antonio Gramsci has tried to make here. Okay. Now let's try to know a little bit about what is civil society according to Antonio Gramsci. So he has said that he understood the importance of civil society in propagation of ideas. Individuals got indoctrinated during socialization by interactions in a subtle manner in daily activities. He blamed the church, education, and social life for giving an aura of naturalness to capitalism. It projected a capitalism as the natural and provided it with legitimacy. And he has also lamented that communism can't be ushered in unless it becomes hegemonic idea. He suggested the creation of counter hegemony by intellectuals of the working class. He has called for an alliance of organic class. Uh, Therefore, the writer Antonio Gramsci has said that as as the capitalist state or the capitalist government tries to rule through cultural hegemony or different kinds of hegemony, just like that, the communist government or the communist or the social or the Marxist uh, ideology too, they too have to do this kind of thing. They too have to create the counter hegemony by the help of intellectuals of the working class, and to the intellectuals of working class, he has said that that people are, or those people are an organic intellectuals, and through them this communist ideology or Marxist ideology can be spread, and it should be made like a cultural hegemony, if this communism or Marxism wants to prosper in any place. Got it? And he has said that the literal meaning of hegemony is leadership. Leaders also use force. Leader also compels others to work according to his will or her will. However, leaders relies on power of attraction or generate consent. For example, British state represented force of coercion. Gandhi represented force of attraction. So here we can take an example how hegemony works. During the British rule in India, the British had tried to rule in India through the use of through the use of British state force. On the other hand, Gandhi has too done the same thing, but in a very peaceful way by representing the force of attraction or the use of non-violence. So that is also an example of hegemony or leadership or dominance. Moreover, a hegemony is the ability of the ruling class and the power of their value to live in the minds of subaltern classes as spontaneous expression of their own ideas. In democratic societies, the dominant class rules by generating the sufficient amount of consent. They are able to generate consent because at times they also present themselves to be sensitive of the concerns of the government. So this is also an important point. If you want to write this down, then you can take a screenshot of it, and then you can put this thing in your examination. Another point is here, hegemony requires that the ruling class adopt some of the values of those whom they rule. Hegemony cannot be taken for granted, it has to be produced on the continuous basis. Hegemony is a power actively lived in the oppressed as common sense, and hegemony defines the limit of common sense. This is also another essential feature of hegemony, as mentioned by the writer Antonio Gramsci in his work Prison Notebooks. Now let's move on. Hegemony represents soft power. If hard power is exercised on body, soft power is to exercise on mind. If hard power is concrete, soft power is invisible. If hard power is based on coercion, soft power is based on consent. Thus, capitalism continue because of its ability to generate the consent or in its favor, and that idea becomes a hegemonic idea which is regarded as a common sense, and it becomes a way of life. Civil society therefore play the role of manufacturing consent, and intellectuals play the most important role in the process. This is also a very great point that you can include, mention in the exam. And that's it. I have talked about the organic intellectuals and traditional intellectuals in my last video. You must watch that video. I have made a playlist on literary theory or critical theory, that you can watch the whole playlist. And thank you so much for watching the video. And bye bye.